Shit. What do we do? Do we help them?
It's coming from the cabins.
We got... Oh my God. Okay. What is that?
This video comes from Texas Paranormal, a channel hosted by Michael and Trinity that focuses on paranormal investigations at haunted locations across Texas. Their videos feature minimal editing and use equipment such as REM pods, laser-calibrated music boxes, and radio frequency devices. The camera kept rolling throughout the investigation.
In San Antonio, Texas, we are at the Donkey Lady Bridge. So apparently this place is supposed to be haunted by a donkey lady, and I already kind of explained in the very intro at the beginning of kind of what, you know, is going on in this place. Again, there's just many stories of it and different variations, but all comes down to, you know, the local folklore. So we're gonna set up some equipment here. We're gonna see if we can capture anything, you know, run a spirit box, see if we can get any EVPs. And pulling up here, I did feel quite a weird vibe, and I am kind of sketched out a little bit. All right, so you're supposed to like kind of call out to, you know, summon them. So donkey lady, if you're here, we come in peace. We just want to talk to you. We want to know what happened. We want to know your story. We come here with all due respect. My name is Michael, and this is Trinity. We are paranormal investigators. I'm going to be setting up some devices around that will help you communicate with us. If you'd like to set those off for us, please feel free to do. That REM pod, you just have to touch the silver antenna to make it go off. And then this music box will kind of shoot a laser. It's going to calibrate, and if you walk in front of it, the music box will actually go off to let us know you're standing there. I also have another...
The atmosphere felt heavy, the kind of place where so many people have reported similar experiences that they're difficult to completely dismiss. Michael went through the setup, explaining the REM pod field, calibrating the music box, and placing the cat ball. Everything was done carefully and methodically, making what happened next harder to explain.
Dude, I heard like come to the forest. We can't do that. We gotta stay on the bridge, unfortunately. We're technically not really supposed to be here at this hour, but we've come here a long way to communicate with you and tell people your story. Yes, you. I think I heard me like in a woman's voice. Did you hear that?
Yep.
You still focused on me?
Trinity asks whether they're safe at the location. The spirit box responds with a single word. Depends? It isn't a yes or a no, just depends. When they try to get more information, the device doesn't provide any further response.
Can we make it out?
Dude, I didn't like that.
What did you hear?
I heard like footsteps coming this way.
Dude, when you heard those footsteps, I heard charging come to the spirit box.
Yeah, I don't like it here at all. Like, I don't have a good feeling about it. I'm sorry, but a part of me wants to run.
Yeah.
Trinity hears what sounds like footsteps coming from the tree line, moving toward them. At the same time, the spirit box produces another word. With both the sounds in the woods and the device's response happening together, Trinity immediately wants to leave, which is completely understandable.
Green pod went off. It went off. And I was not near it at all.
Wait, are you sure you heard it?
It went off.
Okay, hopefully the camera picked that up. Alright, did you just set off the REM pod? If so, can you please do it again?
Maybe it said Lane.
I think it said Lane.
It said Lane.
Is your name Lane?
Oh,
Alright, if you're here with us to confirm, can you please set off that REM pod again? Trinity said she heard it. I didn't see it though.
Was that my name?
I think I heard Trinity. I think so. Or it could have sounded like it. Alright, we're gonna have to wrap up and leave here soon because we got a long drive ahead of us. So, I mean, if there's anything you want the world to know that you want everybody to see, please do it now. We have the camera right here. You can come through this. You can set off these devices. But people believe it more when they see physical reactions, like a REM pod going off, you know, the coffin.
The REM pod had been quiet for most of the night, but it suddenly activated while Michael was standing well away from it. Something seemed to cross the bridge, setting off the device. Though nothing could be seen on camera, Michael then asked if the energy at the location was positive or negative, and the spirit box replied, "In the trees." That was the same spot the device had mentioned earlier, and where the footsteps had been heard. Later on, the device suggested there were 3 or 4 spirits on the bridge. As the night went on, the camera had trouble staying focused. Physical activity remained minimal, but the responses coming through the spirit box became increasingly frequent. This video comes from Metro on the Move, a backpacking channel run by Andy Metro from Atlanta, Georgia. His content focuses on long-distance hiking, ultralight gear, and useful backcountry advice. He's known for making even detailed gear discussions engaging to watch.
Look, dude, there's a bear, dude. Right there. Right there. You see it? You see the bear? Whoa, he's staring at us too, man. I don't know if you guys can see that on the GoPro. He's looking up. He ain't scared. He wants to cross.
He does, but he just saw the other people go by. He's not big either.
No, that means the mama's somewhere around here. Oh, there he goes. Oh,
Decent size for a cub, though. I don't know that they're
that's a
that
cub.
big.
Yeah, that's a cub. Holy cow. Hey, bear. Hey, bear. Hey, bear.
While hiking through a dense forest trail in summer, Andy spotted a large figure in the brush ahead. He stopped, and the animal stopped too. The bear didn't run away or seem startled by the hikers. Instead, it stood there calmly, showing none of the behavior people usually expect from a wild bear. Realizing the situation, they immediately began shouting, "Hey bear, hey bear," to make their presence known. They stayed calm, avoided running, and followed basic bear safety practices. The encounter became even more unsettling when they realized the bear was actually a cub, meaning its mother could be nearby but out of sight. This footage comes from Exploring Abandoned Mines, a North American channel hosted by Frank. The channel focuses on exploring historic mine systems, ghost towns, abandoned industrial sites, and the dangers that come with underground exploration. The video was recorded on March 14, 2026, in Yarranderi, Australia.
Poisonous. Lots of poisonous snakes here. But now we're just swapping tails. The crew is getting ready from Australia to join us, and we're checking out some mines, and they got a channel called QLM.
The gas meter suddenly triggered an alert without any warning. The alarm indicated a potentially dangerous condition in the air ahead, something that couldn't be seen, smelled, or heard. Despite the warning, they continued deeper into the mine.
I will. It smells funky in here, dude.
Welcome to use intelligent voice. Gas detector starting. Please wait.
So we might as well go for a little walking through the water, I guess, eh? It doesn't look that deep. Are you worried about a couple of feet of water?
Oh, whoa.
They reached a flooded section of the mine filled with dark, waist-deep water. The area was freezing and completely unlit. Moving carefully, they tried to keep their footing on an uneven floor hidden beneath the water, with no way of knowing how deep it might be nearby. The audio captured their heavy breathing and effort as they slowly pushed through the flooded passage.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think we can make it.
I think we're sort of in a drive, but I think that goes into a scope.
It looks like it's just level, eh? I don't think we can make it through there, because there's only we're only got like 3 feet from the back there, so there's probably at least 5 feet deep there.
Yeah, how far can you see my torch go?
Oh, right to a corner back there.
Serious?
It goes around a corner there, a curve there. But that's gonna be tough getting back that far. I think, I don't know.
Well, that was hard work, mate.
There's another passage going to the left, going up, but it probably wouldn't go to the surface. Probably been filled in too.
How deep are the rocks just here?
Shine your light all the way up there, and I'll get a shot. Looking up there. Yeah. I'm scared if I go towards that wall, I'm gonna be about 5 feet of water, and then Your gas monitor is going to be underwater.
The passage became even narrower, leaving only about 3 feet of space between the water and the rock ceiling above. Beneath the water was an unmapped stope where the floor dropped away completely. Unable to see below the surface, they had to move carefully through the tight section and continue deeper into the mine.
Really? So it must go to the surface then, right? So what's he gonna do? Nothing, right? I'll take a picture of him.
Wait, he's waking up. Frank, he's moving. Go quiet, quiet. Come on, quiet. It's a massive wombat. He is enormous.
Did you see him move?
Yeah.
They eventually discovered that the animal ahead was a wombat. Trapped in a narrow tunnel with little room to move, they had to consider the risk of trying to pass through it. If they continued and later found their exit blocked, they would have been forced to come back through the same passage. After discussing their options, they decided to turn around and head back.
It's not even holding. I'm having to hold on to the tail. It's the only way that's stopping it from going. Huh. Well. Well, this is kind of funny. I mean, this rope doesn't work on this. It doesn't even stop it. Yeah.
Back on the surface, Frank decided to rappel into a 535-foot mine shaft. During the descent, he realized the safety rope was not properly sized for the rigging setup. At one point, he was forced to hold onto the tail line by hand above the shaft. He eventually made it back to the surface after climbing hundreds of feet on the rope. By the end of the day, the expedition had included toxic gas warnings, waist-deep flooded passages, a wombat blocking a tunnel, and a dangerous rope situation during the shaft descent. It's April 28, 2022, at Crank Caverns in Rainford, St. Helens, Lancashire. This footage comes from Moxley's Paranormal World, a UK-based channel that combines paranormal investigations with wilderness exploration and haunted camping. Their investigations use equipment such as spirit boxes, electromagnetic meters, and various audio devices to document their experiences.
Up here, there's a kid crying up there, and we're not even in the caves yet. You heard it, didn't you? And then before, when we first got here, we heard that woman go. Shh. It was like a...
Both look around at the same time.
Yeah.
While standing in the woods, they heard what sounded like a child crying from the tree line. Shortly afterward, they also heard a woman's groan coming from somewhere nearby. Both sounds seemed out of place in the empty forest at night, and they hadn't even reached the cave yet, which was still about 50 yards away.
Please tell me you heard that. Please tell me you heard that. It was like a moan.
What is going on in this place? Yeah.
It's horrible down there.
It is. I need to have a drink.
I think that's what I heard.
Can you hear that voices?
Yeah. I can hear. It's almost like a chanting, isn't it? Doesn't it sound like chanting?
While deep inside the crawl spaces, the team began reviewing an EVP recording. During the playback, a raspy voice appeared to come through the audio and seemed to say the investigator's name. The response caught the team off guard, and they reacted immediately.
Something then.
So, it didn't go straight. Go put it through here and see if I heard that.
I heard it. It was like a...
While scanning a distant corridor, one of the investigators noticed what looked like a shadow peeking around a corner in the cave. It appeared briefly and then disappeared. Moments later, a whisper seemed to come from the same area, carrying a single word. Hello?
Don't know what it was. Is that chanting?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
I can hear that.
What the?
Did you? I heard that.
That was chanting. After they asked, can you come towards the lights? We're hearing chanting.
Come towards us, please.
In a large underground chamber, they asked any entities present to move toward the flashlights. Nothing approached the lights. Instead, they began hearing low chanting that seemed to come from somewhere beneath the rock floor. Later, the spirit box produced several responses, including repeated messages telling them to get out. At the same time, heavy thuds echoed through the cave. Ahead of them was a muddy crawlway leading toward an area local legends describe as a ritual altar. After the activity intensified, the team decided to end the investigation and leave. Living Life by the Mile is a channel run by Michael and Rebecca, a married couple who travel full-time in a truck with their dog, Ricey. Their videos document life on the road, including camping, vehicle repairs, and the places they visit. In this video, they stopped for the night at a Walmart parking lot in Allentown, Pennsylvania. The next morning, Rebecca woke up at 6 a.m. when her alarm went off. As she got out of bed, she heard a knock coming from outside the truck.
So I hurried and put my house coat on, and by the time I got up there, whoever it was already getting back in their vehicle, but they was so close to the back of the truck, I couldn't even make out what kind of car it was or anything.
I mean, we knew it wasn't the cops.
Yeah.
For security.
Yeah, and they just took off. And then I started making me some coffee, and then I just wanted to look out again and make sure that they had left. And what do you know? They're back. And they're literally just standing beside my truck creepily, not knocking or anything, just standing there. So at that point, I told Michael, you better get up. You got to have to do something with this, whatever this is going on.
Michael woke up annoyed because he had only gone to sleep around 3 a.m. and someone had knocked on the RV at 6 a.m. When he first looked outside, the person was gone. A short time later, the man appeared again and was using the RV as a bathroom. Michael opened the window to ask why he had knocked earlier, and that's when things got strange.
Oh my God, be careful.
Hey, I'm looking for Paul Yob. Have you seen him?
What?
A Paul Yob?
Why are you beating on my truck at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Paul Yob.
Who's that?
Paul Yob. That's a short little fellow that drives a tow truck. Now, 20 years back, I was just waking up on electric. Where's he at? Do you know Brian Kramer?
I mean, we have no idea who Paul Yob was. Or Brandon Kramer.
You don't know any of these fellows?
No.
No. No. No Brian Kramer or any of that?
No.
Are you on crack or something?
Michael, you don't know he could
no,
have.
Somebody who went.
Beating on my truck at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, what are you doing,
what?
bro? Stop beating on my truck at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Somebody that would just led me over here to talk to you to tell me you're Paul Yob for some reason.
Nobody did that, dude. You're on crack. No, you don't know what you're talking about.
What?
Nobody did that.
Yeah.
Nobody did that.
Told me to come over here to tell you that you're Paul Yob for some
I don't know who Paul, whoever is. You beating on other people. You just beat on somebody else's too.
Yeah, I beat on that van over there.
And you ain't a crackhead.
I ain't a crackhead.
You don't hear
that much right now. This is going way back, partner. That's why I'm out here.
No, I'll tell you where this is going. One of two places. You can get.
Go ahead.
What is the van got to?
About with Paul, by the way.
You better get away from my truck.
He's not in his right mind.
The conversation became increasingly tense and unpredictable. Throughout the encounter, the man kept his hands behind his back while repeatedly asking for someone named Paul Yob, claiming he had been told that person was there. Michael couldn't understand why the man believed the person he was looking for would be inside their truck. Eventually, the man walked away, but he later returned and began knocking on other vans, asking the same question.
I mean, definitely he was on something, and he was messing with everybody because when he knocked on ours the first time, I also seen him go across over to a gray van, and I seen him get out, and they done the same thing. He went around to the driver's side, he knocked on the side of their van, and then he literally ran back to his car and took off before they could get up and get out there. Same way he had done us. He was going around to everybody's vehicles. I saw him go up to 2 other cars and mess around their cars.
I mean, he wasn't a homeless dude. He obviously had a car, and he looked like he had a job and all that. He just still a crackhead. I mean, he talking about being SA'd 20 years ago, and some reason they're in our truck this morning in Allentown. I really didn't know what to do with it at that point, because she was saying it looked like he was reaching behind his back and he had something. I mean,
it did, because when they first started arguing, he had his hands in the front of him, and then I kept seeing him like go like this, like in behind his back. So I just wanted to get Michael out of the window, because you never know, man. The world is crazy right now. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to risk my life or his life in any way. So I just told Michael, I just said whatever to get him away from the window and let this guy go on about his day.
I mean, after I kind of threatened him, he started saying something like, if I'm going to do it in front of that van over there.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Which was halfway across the Walmart parking lot.
A short time later, several vehicles drove through the parking lot, and the couple assumed someone had reported the situation. By that point, it was clear to them that the man was not acting normally. They stayed in the parking lot for a while longer, but the encounter had left them feeling uneasy and unable to go back to sleep. Eventually, they left and continued their trip. This footage comes from Exploring With Me Dave, an independent UK-based channel focused on exploring abandoned buildings, historic tunnels, and underground cave systems. The video was recorded on December 19th, 2020 at Crank Caverns in Rainford, St. Helens, United Kingdom.
I'm out again. We're coming on a little adventure. We've just been down to the target site to try and get in there, but unfortunately it's all sealed up. So we're down at Crank Caverns. So we've come down to Crank Caverns to have a little look. Me, our Tony, exploring history UK, and Kelman. I'll introduce you to them in a minute. Well, Kelman, because you met our Tony, I think, and obviously you know Lewis. And that there, everybody, is the caverns we're going into. Crank Caverns. This should be fun. Yes, we're going to go and get this place a little go when I walk down this right. So, hello, so.
Back again.
So this way we went down to the Dragon's Eye. Unfortunately, it was like 4 o'clock. So we actually left the camera inside where the railings were.
Deep inside the caverns, surrounded by mud and complete darkness, Dave pointed his camera into a side chamber to show just how dark the environment was. The camera captured nothing at all, highlighting the total absence of light inside the cave.
Slippy?
Yeah, it's slick.
This is the last of the crouching when you get through here. And then try and hold. Oh no.
Nearly. What's down this one here, mate?
They all link up with each other down here. So
How did he?
Something like that.
I wouldn't want to go down there. That's tight. Go ahead, so you can go first, mate. I'll get him after.
The passage began sloping downward over wet rock and uneven ground. With poor footing and steep underground sections ahead, they moved carefully, knowing a slip could send them into areas they couldn't properly see. Using the walls for support, they continued deeper into the caverns.
We'll have to get out soon for Calman, he'll think we're dead.
Oh, yeah.
The Church of Crank Caverns.
Yeah.
May as well sit down and go over.
Yeah.
Oh, no, mate.
Wow. What a place.
So, this part is where all the rooms came from. The cathedral. This is part of the cathedral. On some days they needed somewhere to come and pray.
Remind us.
Well, this is where it would have been.
See what's warm down here though, boys, isn't it? It gets hot, doesn't it?
He's that next to cracking, had he?
Yeah.
Only minerals in the water.
That rail I've just found up there.
Rail?
Yeah, there's part of a track.
Is he? Oh, look at that.
I'm kept bringing it out with me.
Aye.
Coming out with it.
Do you want to hold you up between us? I'll just set this camera up.
I'm alright. At some point, they realized a phone had been lost somewhere along the route behind them. Recovering it would have meant retracing their steps through the same dark and difficult passages they had already crossed. Instead, they chose to continue forward, leaving the phone behind.
What? I'm coming now, mate, yeah?
No, it's alright there, mate.
Sorry if we have to put the camera that way, because it's the only way I can get through with it. Because it's literally a 2-foot gap. Here. Wow, mate.
You alright there?
I'm lying on my back. How crackers is this?
Look at that, moving.
Are you out, Joe?
No, not yet. It's miles, still miles there.
Go ahead then, keep going. It's about 25 foot, isn't it?
Hey, isn't that a mad little gate, that?
It's a little gate.
Ain't it there?
What?
This little gate here.
Right, little gate, yeah.
They eventually reached a very narrow section with only about 2 feet of space between the rock and the ground. One by one, they pushed their tripods through first and then crawled through on their stomachs in the dark. After making it through the tight passage, they finally reached the cave entrance and were met by fresh air and daylight. Outside, they noticed security personnel already on the perimeter, so they ended the recording and left the area. This footage comes from Mr. Mountain Beast, a US-based channel that combines wilderness travel with exploration of remote locations, forgotten ruins, tunnels, unusual geological features, and local legends. The video was recorded on May 21st, 2026 in the Utah desert. At the highest part of the test site, the terrain became increasingly difficult to navigate. The area was filled with loose sandstone, deep cracks in the ground, and tall rock formations shaped by past explosions. As he continued through the canyon, the surroundings grew unusually quiet. Reaching the edge of a large crater, he carefully stepped onto a narrow section of unstable rock and avoided looking directly down.
Found the first rattlesnake of the day up here. It's right by this massive explosion hole. He is beautiful.
While making his way across the rubble, he suddenly spotted a large rattlesnake coiled in the shadow of a rock only a few feet away. Its camouflage had been so effective that he hadn't noticed it until he was already very close. Rather than making any sudden movements, he slowly backed away while the snake remained still. After the encounter, he continued exploring the canyon, documenting unusual rock formations and ancient carvings found in the area. The trip ended up involving difficult terrain, extreme heat, and a close encounter with a rattlesnake that appeared without warning. This footage comes from Creepy Outdoors, a channel run by John, who is known for heading alone into remote forests at night with very little gear. He ventures out without a crew or backup, carrying only a camera, a flashlight, and whatever he manages to capture along the way. The video takes place on April 9th, 2024, near Lac de l'Achigan in Quebec, Canada.
Hey everyone, it's Creepy Outdoors, and today I bought something very special. I bought myself a spirit box. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time now, but never had the chance, or perhaps the courage. Well, what better way to test my new device into going in this haunted forest? I'm just gonna start right away by turning it on, and sometimes we might be lowering the volume, just listen to our surroundings, but I'm mainly just gonna keep this thing on. Turn it on.
FM mode.
We're gonna have to switch the mode.
AM mode.
Let's forward it. And this is the speed of the channel where it's gonna be. I'm gonna start scanning right about now.
The forest was completely dark, with only John's flashlight lighting a narrow path through the trees. He admitted that he didn't feel fearless, just determined to keep going. As he walked deeper into the woods, he switched on the spirit box and let it scan through frequencies. The forest quickly began to feel closed in and isolated. It's the kind of situation where most people would turn around, but John kept moving forward.
I seriously hope that's not what I'm hearing. Are you saying there's someone behind me? I hate when it goes like that. Gives me a bit of anxiety.
He called out into the darkness, asking if there were any lost spirits in the forest. Almost immediately, a voice seemed to come through the static with a clear response. Yes, there was no hesitation or unclear noise, just a direct answer that made it seem as if something had been waiting for the question.
Sworn I felt something on my back. Can you say that again? Are you behind me? Are you in the forest on the sides of the trail?
He tried to get more responses, and a faint, low-pitched voice seemed to emerge from the static. Through the noise, it sounded like it said, "It hurts." Just two simple words, but they stood out more than anything else captured up to that point.
Know who I am?
The area is tied to a local indigenous legend about a woman who drowned herself in the lake. When John reached the edge of the dark water, the atmosphere seemed to change. Around that moment, a distinct female voice appeared to come through the audio, repeating the same phrase 3 times in a row as if it was trying to make itself clearly understood.
Can you tell me your name?
On the walk back through the forest, the frequency suddenly became distorted, and a deep, raspy voice seemed to come through the speaker. The word it produced was unsettling. It sounded like John's own channel name. To him, it felt as though whatever was responding had been listening the entire time. With his flashlight battery down to 30%, John eventually told any entities present to stay in the forest and not follow him home. The investigation began with what sounded like a voice behind him, and ended with what appeared to be his own name being whispered back. It's June 5th, 2026, in a woodland area of the United Kingdom. This footage comes from Straight Explorer, a UK-based solo adventurer who combines camping with paranormal investigations. His videos often feature overnight stays in abandoned mines, remote forests, and other isolated locations, using equipment such as spirit boxes and night vision cameras. Rather than avoiding these locations, he explores them alone while documenting anything unusual he encounters.
What is that noise? Why did that sound? Like a friggin' UFO flying over the trees. There was something right here above the trees. I've never felt more not alone. What the is that? Alright then guys, we are back with another adventure after a 4-week break. Pretty sure it's been 4 weeks since I filmed a video last.
As darkness settled in, he heard a strange humming sound moving above the trees. The noise seemed mechanical and deliberate, prompting him to scan the canopy with his flashlight. Unable to identify the source, he could only follow the sound as it passed overhead and disappeared into the night.
I'm not even kidding you. I hope you heard that. There was something right here above the trees. It didn't have that electrical sort of sound though, it was like the mic must have picked it up. I don't know how to explain it. Freaking me out a little bit.
A short time later, the sound returned. This time, it was deeper and more powerful, creating a low vibration as it moved above the trees. He listened as it passed overhead once again, unable to identify what was causing it. Despite scanning the area, he found no obvious source for the noise before it faded away into the darkness.
Just before I hit record, and as soon as I put the light on, this weird creepy little voice went, like it laughed when I put the light on. I'm gonna put the light on and see if it does it again. Man, that's bright.
The giggling returned from somewhere in the darkness, sounding like a young girl's voice echoing through the woods. Almost immediately afterward, 2 loud knocks rang out nearby. The sound was sharp and deliberate, resembling someone knocking on wood, even though there were no buildings or structures in the area, only the surrounding trees and the darkness beyond them.
Why did that sound like a different voice as well? So I heard that little girl's like giggling, or it was a giggle, and I'd say it was a girl.
Watchers.
Watchers. Who's watching? In that mine where we're going to go in a minute, I had an EVP. Well, I had a few EVPs in there. The one said, I them down here.
Deep inside the final mine shaft, he reviewed an EVP recording and heard what sounded like a distorted voice saying a short phrase that was difficult to make out. Moments later, a scream appeared to echo from deeper within the shaft. According to him, the unusual activity had started before camp was even set up and continued throughout the night. Along the way, he reported strange sounds overhead, unexplained laughter in the woods, knocking noises from the surrounding trees, and several unusual responses from his equipment. By morning, he felt exhausted and decided to pack up and leave, later saying he had no intention of returning to the location. Adam from the YouTube channel World Proven is known for visiting unusual locations and learning about their history while documenting his experiences. His content includes exploring abandoned places, hiking through forests, and camping in remote areas. In this video, he travels to the Aokigahara Forest in Japan, often referred to as the Suicide Forest. The location has been the subject of many unsettling stories, and during this trip, Adam experienced something that he found deeply disturbing.
Blue line from my Shinjuku bus, they really dropped in the middle of nowhere. But this is the Aokigahara Forest. It drops significantly in temperature though, as soon as you get to Aokigahara. It is like significantly colder than in Tokyo. So yeah, it took about 2.5 hours, so less than 3 to get here. And I can enter the forest at any time, but there's a point I want to enter that's kind of the center of the Aokigahara Forest because it's super easy to get lost in there. Everything I've read online is like you've got to tie things around certain trees, ribbons or something, so that you know where you're going. Like so you can return, you can come out. That's one of the problems with the forest is it kind of sucks people in because it's super dense. Its bedding is volcanic rock that kind of messes with your devices. It shouldn't if I'm holding it though. Apparently my compass still works, but I don't want to get lost. It's a pretty big...
After hiking deeper into the forest, Adam reached a point where he could no longer see any trails around him. He eventually set up camp in a very remote area, far away from other people and well removed from the main paths.
I've walked a kilometer west, kilometer north, kilometer east, and a kilometer south. Nothing. No trails, no nothing. So I'm at least a kilometer from everything. I'm about 4 or 5 kilometers from the entrance. I think I'm gonna be here. It's almost 7, so I've been in the forest for about 4 hours now. A few things I've learned. It's very peaceful. It's very quiet. And I don't know if that's the volcanic base or if it's the position of the forest. It's also, I thought it would be beautiful. I love hiking in the woods and I do find the woods, calming and beautiful. There's something eerie about...
After setting up camp, Adam spent some time exploring the forest and came across something unusual. Considering where he was, the discovery quickly became unsettling.
What do we got? I don't know what that is. Hair styling gel. Why the frig is there hair styling gel? That's someone's pants. Like, what the F? Alright, that's pretty creepy.
The thought that those belongings might have belonged to someone who was no longer alive deeply affected him. The discovery left him unsettled and with many unanswered questions. As evening approached, he returned to his tent. With the forest being so dense, finding his way back would not have been easy. While sitting inside the tent and thinking about what he had found earlier, he suddenly heard a noise coming from outside.
This is, of course, after finding the woman's clothing. I still think it's just a creepy forest, but what I don't get it, and I've been thinking and thinking about this. Why would she bring hairspray, a mirror? I mean, these are things that people use to look good, right? Care about your appearance and purse and things. If you're planning on yourself, do you need hairspray to make sure your hair looks good if you're planning on yourself in a forest? And again, there's no playful light on harming yourself. There's nothing cool or good about that. It's tragic. I'm just thinking. I just heard something.
He stepped out of the tent to check the sound he thought he had heard. At first, he wasn't sure if it was real or just his imagination, but while walking through the forest, he heard it again. And this time, the camera picked it up as well. The sound was faint, but it was clearly there.
And I'm gonna turn the light on my phone. And we're gonna go for a walk. Oh. Every time I go north, I get super lost, and there's no reason for it. I do straight lines. But at this time of the night, after seeing a dress and a bra, forget it. I have my limits to what I'm willing to deal with. I don't know what's back. Keep going. Because they're more or less. Who's that? Sounded like somebody crying. So it's about 10 in Aokigahara Forest. I heard somebody sobbing. Definitely, 100%. I was walking, and it was a girl sobbing, but it was far away and like echoey. Like it was echoing, like she was in a cave. So I figured I'm not somebody that believes in the supernatural, so I'm just a girl crying. Anyways, I'm listening. I'll probably go out one more time and then.
A short time later, he heard what sounded like a woman crying. The sound was faint but noticeable, and it was also picked up by the camera.
What is that?
In most forests, hearing a woman crying would likely make you think someone was lost or in trouble. But given the location, the sound felt much more unsettling. Aokigahara has a tragic history, which made the situation even more disturbing for Adam. He spent the night in the forest and left the next day safely, but he chose not to follow the sound because it was distant and moving too far from camp could have caused him to lose his way. The source of the crying was never identified. Because of the forest's reputation and the stories connected to it, some people believe the sound may have been something paranormal, while others think the reality could have been far more troubling. It's November 29th, 2024, in the Pine Barrens of New Jersey. This footage comes from Paracurious, an independent investigation team that selects remote locations for overnight explorations. For this trip, they headed into the 1.1 million acre Pine Barrens, a region known for local legends and its vast wilderness. As the night progressed, they found themselves struggling with navigation when their route no longer matched the trails around them, and their GPS stopped working. Despite the confusion, they continued recording their experience.
So the dart landed closest to the Pine Barrens in New Jersey, famously haunted by the New Jersey Devil. The forest is 1.1 million acres large, and it is known to be the most haunted forest in America.
What was that noise?
What noise?
I heard like something moving up in one of the trees.
Look over there. I'm just looking if this is like...
I thought you said what's over there.
So the story of the New Jersey Devil originates in the 1700s with a family called the Leeds. The mother of the family was known as Deborah Lead. Along with her husband and her 12 kids, they lived deep in the Pine Barrens. You know, I feel like the trail is not making sense with that picture I showed you, Aids. I feel like it's going way more out.
Me too.
The family lived a simple life surrounded by dense forests, isolated from the rest of the world. The family was looked down upon from the rest of the town for having different political and religious views. After some time, the family started getting into some cult activities involving their religion. The stories say that Mother Lead had her 13th child, and it turned into a demon now known as the New Jersey Devil. The night of the birth was a stormy night for the Pine Barrens. While the storm was happening, Mother Leeds gave birth inside the family's home. When the child was born, the baby was twisted and deformed, with the body of a child, but wings like a bat, hooves of a goat, head of a horse, and eyes that glowed red.
See, I feel like we've been going straight for a while.
Me too.
This path has been straight.
Yeah. The abomination let out a scream before bursting through the roof of the house and vanishing into the night sky. The family was never the same after that night. Some say Mother Leeds went mad, while others say she disappeared, never to be seen again. As crazy and far-fetched as this story sounds, for centuries, thousands of people have reported seeing the Jersey Devil lurking and flying through the Pine Barrens.
They suddenly stopped after hearing what sounded like people talking somewhere in the darkness. The voices seemed to move with them, staying nearby but never coming into view. No matter where they looked, they couldn't see anyone, yet the sounds continued to follow their position through the woods.
Dude! Wow! You are so big, dude. Run.
You can't even like see him on video.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Oh my god, it's like a tarantula. We're getting swarmed by bugs standing still, so let's keep going.
It's widely talked about how a lot of the bodies buried in the Pine Barrens are from the mob or gangs in New York City or Philadelphia. The gangs and mobs will come to the Pine Barrens to dispose of their or any evidence that could get them in prison, and they bury it here because they know no one's ever going to find it. It's also said that the Pine Barrens have their own species of rattlesnake, and when you go into more of the brushy areas of the forest, there's these bugs called chiggers.
With the spirit communication device running, they received several responses, including the names William and Ellen. Shortly afterward, a clear message came through: leave me alone. Despite the direct response, they continued the investigation rather than ending it.
Clay, don't run after it.
It's a bicycle.
What the? Was there a bike there when we first came in?
It's rusted. You can tell it's been here for a while.
This is the trap to get us off the trail and then we get lost.
We're like 4 feet off the trail. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you believe in ghosts?
I'd say like a 9 or a 10.
Really?
No, not like a 9 or a 10, like a 7 or 8.
The Spirit Talker began producing a rapid series of responses, including Lucifer, we're all around you, and the bad man's here. It then started cycling through names such as Raymond, Dominic, and Megan. As the messages continued, the investigators focused on the names appearing on the device and continued recording the session.
Almost on red.
Can you make that stop? Oh my god. It's being... that means it's physically being touched.
Yeah.
When it blinks red like that. Can you stop? I'm gonna turn the device off. Make it stop. You have 5 seconds, and then I'm gonna turn the device off.
Slowing down.
A sudden loud impact erupted from the ground right beside them, kicking up sand and loose brush. The noise was close, forceful, and impossible for them to ignore. Whatever caused it was nearby, and the investigators immediately became aware of its presence.
It's like this way. Shh. Can you make that stop, please? There's like a pack of wolves. I say we wrap this up, like, finish ritual. That's terrifying.
Okay, Palo Santo.
They're surrounding us. I hear them this way.
As they attempted to complete the cleansing ritual, a group of coyotes or coy wolves began howling from several directions around them. The calls overlapped and seemed to surround the area. When the ritual ended, the howling stopped and the area fell quiet. Back at camp, one investigator said he felt physically sick, while another said he felt a strong urge to abandon the ritual before it was finished. Afterward, one member carried out a short solo session before the team packed up and continued deeper into the Pine Barrens. This footage comes from Dawson Toller, a paranormal investigator known for documenting his investigations without stage scares or added sound effects. He visits locations connected to tragic events, sets up his equipment, and records whatever happens. His videos rely on raw footage rather than heavy editing or dramatic effects. This particular investigation took place on March 5th, 2025, in a remote wooded area outside Camden, Tennessee.
There was rustling going on. Like we're in the woods, but I just want to make sure it's not like a bear or something. Because if there is, you guys won't see this footage. Because I'll be... Because there's no other cars here. So it would be really strange if there was people here. Because it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's out in the middle of the woods. I don't see anybody or any deer or anything, but it sounded like the leaves moving. Strange. Might be a deer that maybe I can't see because right now
Something moves in the brush, causing Dawson to stop and assess the situation. It could have been a deer or something else with a simple explanation. But with no other cars, hikers, or campers anywhere nearby, he was completely alone in the area. Whatever was moving through the trees seemed to be watching as he made his way toward the crash site before the light disappeared.
I didn't even realize that. That was just going off. Was that caught on camera? I hope I got that in time. So I used that for a few hours at an investigation. It's going off again. Hello? Are you sitting on the bench? Could you do that again, please? I really do appreciate it.
As night fell, Dawson placed the static box on the memorial stone. The green indicator suddenly flashed on its own. He then asked if the entity was sitting on a nearby bench, and the device lit up again in response. To Dawson, it seemed less like a random occurrence and more like a direct answer to his question.
We're in the middle of the woods, but I thought I just heard a cough. It's windy though. You know, I'd be willing to put my money on a stick like broke and it kind of was like, you know, and it kind of just sounded like a cough. So if you were making that static go off, which I really do appreciate.
He suddenly stopped speaking as a sound breaks the silence. Aside from the wind, the forest had been quiet. Then something nearby made a noise that sounded very much like a human cough, or at least something close enough to be unsettling. Dawson considered that it could have been a branch snapping, but he didn't sound convinced. Whatever made the noise seemed to be just beyond the reach of his flashlight near the crash site where 4 people had...
My name is Dawson. That just went off. That just went off. It's still going off. It should be calibrated by now. Could you step away? Could you step away, please? And then you can go back to it. I just want to confirm that that's you. That's weird, because it's not flashing or anything. It just moved over. There it is. 2 of them. Could you try to move? Okay. Why did that happen? Hello? If you're here, could you like rub your hands together or something? Create a little bit of static so that, oh my gosh, and now red. I don't know why that's happening. I truly don't.
Dawson headed over to a nearby gazebo to avoid disturbing other people visiting the memorial. There, he began saying the names of the crash victims one by one. Each time he did, the static box became highly active, remaining lit and cycling through its colored lights for long stretches. He noted that he had never seen the device behave that way during his testing at home. The reactions seemed to be tied directly to the names being spoken. As the night wore on, the temperature dropped, the wind picked up, and his hands grew numb. Yet the equipment continued responding throughout the investigation. Eventually, Dawson ended the session and packed up his gear, while the static box remained active until he turned it off. This footage comes from Overland Nomad, a US-based channel focused on overlanding, off-road travel, remote camping, and wilderness exploration. The video was recorded on February 24th, 2026 at South Padre Island, Texas.
Take a break from work, from daily life, and come out here in the wilderness and sit by the fire. I think all of us need a little reset every so often, doesn't matter who, everyone needs one. It's important.
After finishing his setup for the evening, David settled into his beach campsite with his dog Piper nearby. He started cooking fajitas and arranged some lights around the camp. The beach was largely empty, with only a few fishermen visible in the distance. Other than that, the area felt quiet and isolated. As the evening went on, the wind that had been blowing earlier began to die down.
Cooking, and I was just having to stare through the window, and I see a light like coming up, like someone walked. And yeah, it was a lady. I thought there was a car that went up to the East Cut, and I do know that there's one car out there. I could see its lights, and I guess they're stuck. I would love to help, but I'm by myself. There's no one out here, and I don't know if it's a trap.
While cooking dinner, David noticed a light moving slowly along the beach toward his campsite. As it got closer, he saw it was a woman who said her vehicle was stuck in the sand nearby. When David offered to help, including letting her use his phone, she declined. Her reaction struck him as unusual and made him uneasy. Being alone in a remote area with little help nearby, he decided to trust his instincts and began getting ready to leave the campsite.
I was thinking about just camping a few miles south. She's like, I don't know how you're gonna go to sleep. I called 911. I called the county just to report it, and then I told them my predicament, and the guy was like, oh yeah, that sounds super sketchy, I'd probably leave.
After packing up his gear, David contacted local authorities and explained the situation. He was told that no immediate assistance could be sent to the area, with no nearby support available. He felt more confident in his decision to leave rather than remain at the campsite. The encounter served as a reminder that even in a calm and quiet location, an unexpected interaction can quickly change the situation, especially when you're alone in a remote area. It's May 17th, 2023, at Kenmure Castle in New Galloway, Scotland. The footage comes from Lore and Explore, a UK-based channel that explores the history and mysteries of Scotland's forgotten ruins while documenting solo wild camping trips. It's 6 p.m. and a tent is being set up facing the castle as daylight fades. Kenmure Castle is a 4-story roofless ruin with a legendary burial site on its grounds.
A bit different. This is a haunted castle camp. It's where the headless piper's buried. A bit spooky tonight. I have my trusty. All I can see as well, that's not the original stonework outside for a castle. Well, if I say castle, it's probably more a mansion house. in that castle, but
The castle showed no signs of graffiti, only the effects of centuries of natural weathering. He walked around the grounds and discussed the local legend of a headless piper said to be buried there and haunting the ruins after dark. As evening approached, he explored the site, including its spiral staircases, collapsed turrets, and old coats of arms, before setting up his tent directly facing the castle walls. By then, he was alone at the site with the story of the headless piper still fresh in his mind.
well, I don't think you get much more spookier than that. Wee Perry's kind of whining there. Maybe she senses something untoward, something lurking behind those castle walls.
The night was filled with sounds, including geese and the loud calls of a male red deer nearby. On their own, those noises had obvious explanations, but hearing them all at once in complete darkness beside a roofless 400-year-old ruin made the atmosphere feel far more intense and overwhelming.
There's bats out there. I've just spotted a bat as well. Jesus Christ. What is that? See, so we bats, geese, a male deer roaring. Something's going psst in the background. Birds twittering, sheep baaing. Oh man. Over here, this camera can pick that up there. It's really loud. You're going to get a wink sleep tonight. That's for sure. There's too much going on. Hear that? Jeez, oh. Noises everywhere. So that is it for tonight. It's after midnight. Myself and Perry are going to get some sleep here. It's absolutely miserable here, but we're going to give it a shot. So most of the noises that we heard earlier on have now settled down now, and unless some kind of headless piper playing bagpipes kind of appears.
Later in the night, sounds began coming from the castle itself. Heavy bangs and loud creaks echoed from the dark interior of the empty ruin. Listening to the noises, he quickly realized a peaceful night's sleep wasn't like the activity eventually quieted down after midnight, allowing him and Perry to get some rest. By morning, the castle was surrounded by mist, and the night had passed without any sign of the legendary headless piper. It ended as a quiet but memorable stay at an ancient ruin. This footage comes from Rick's Adventures, a UK paranormal investigation channel run by Richard and Lucas. Their videos focus on exploring reportedly haunted woodlands and abandoned locations using ghost hunting equipment and on-site investigations. The video was filmed on April 21st, 2026, and follows another of their overnight investigations in a remote location.
Welcome back to Rick's Adventures, everyone. Thank you for joining me. We are back in Judy Woods, part 2. This video will follow on straight from the other one, and tonight we've got better weather, the Storm David's passed, and we are going to carry on our paranormal research and try and make contact with Judy North, the Headless Horseman, Captain Beavers, or any other lost souls that resides within these woods. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Is there any spirits here with us today? My name's Richard. I've come back again to meet with you. Hopefully you will get to know us a bit more and you'll be happier to come and make contact with us. We mean you no harm. I'm with Lucas. Can you come and affect one of us? Can you come and show yourself on our devices? So what I'm going to do straight away, guys, is I'm going to set up some cat balls as usual on this bridge, and I'll see if we can get any activity with them. It's not windy at all, so if there's any movement with them, I know it's been interacted with by something else.
Back in Judy Woods for a follow-up investigation after a recent storm, Richard and Lucas set up on a secluded footbridge. They placed cat balls, activated EMF meters, and began calling out into the woods. The area was completely still, with no wind or movement as they started their investigation.
Self, please. My name's Richard. This is Lucas. We mean you no harm. EMF meter's going off. Try moving around a bit. Oh, that's solid. Wow.
Now it's just blinking.
Stranger.
Solid glitcher here.
That is proper going off. Settled when I came near it. Thank you, Spirit, if that's you near that device.
As the temperature began to drop, Richard reported hearing heavy footsteps that Lucas could not hear. Shortly afterward, one of their devices produced a complete message, "We are watching you all." Despite the unsettling response, they continued the investigation.
Right, I'm going to do the EVP while that EMF's going off, because I think, whoa, something just moved. I'm not in you. It felt like something just pushed my camera, like, towards me. I just felt like something just pushed the camera towards me like that, guys. I'm not even joking. That just scared the bastard life out of me.
They then heard what sounded like a human screaming coming from the edge of the woods. Not long afterward, they noticed lights moving through the darkness along a path leading toward the bridge. In response, they gathered their equipment and left the area. When they later returned, there was no sign of anyone, no people, no obvious traces, only the quiet woodland.
Being startled by something in the woods coming towards us. We saw torchlights, so we came down the bridge a little bit, and it should have carried on coming towards us if it was human-like, because it was making its way down. It hasn't passed us yet, so we're just making ourselves a bit more mobile. We dropped something, and we're going to investigate what it was in a minute.
A deep growl echoed from the nearby tree line, and both Richard and Lucas heard it clearly. After acknowledging the sound, they remained in place. Richard then blew a whistle, and shortly afterward, a device produced the messages "sinister" and "closer than you think." Moments later, while scanning the area with a flashlight, Richard noticed movement between two large trees, as if something had reacted to the sound.
So then you think, as soon as I blew the whistle, as soon as I blew that whistle for the third time, as I was blowing it, it said, "I'm closer than you think." I don't think it likes the screech.
I literally went to go grab my torch because I thought I saw someone literally there.
Where there?
Yeah.
So by blowing the death whistle, we believe, as paranormal investigators, that anything that's already deceased is going to think that something's about or is or getting attacked.
Later in the investigation, the device began producing hostile and explicit responses, unlike anything the team had previously recorded with it. At the same time, strange sounds appeared to be coming from two different directions within the woods. As they made their way out along a shorter route, they continued scanning the tree line with their lights. During the investigation, they reported unusual EMF readings, an apparent movement that affected the camera, a reaction after the whistle was blown, and several unexplained sounds from the surrounding trees. Hemi Does Wild Bikepacking is a channel centered around camping and outdoor adventures, often involving trips to remote locations by bicycle. He also occasionally travels by van to reach places that are farther away. In this video, after driving for hours to reach a campsite, he discovered that camping was not allowed there. He then got back on the road and searched for another remote location where he expected to be completely alone.
Driving around the whole of bloody north. So I think I'm going to have a tea here and then I'll see what I think, and I'll potentially sleep here I will go home. I tell you, it's nice to stop because I've done about a squillion miles tonight. Right, I think I'm going to do an hour watch, and because I'm in charge of a motor vehicle, non-alco, no fun. I don't know what the hell's going on tonight. I can hear all sorts of weird singing going on in those woods. I think I'm gonna cook my tea.
As night fell, he started preparing some food and considered heading out to investigate the strange singing he could hear coming from the forest. However, he gradually decided against it.
Those weird singing woods. Road. Pedders Way. JB, Base Camp 1. That is a tasty burger. No walkabout tonight. Bugger that. I don't know what the hell's going on in those woods, but I don't want to end up in some cult. I think I'm going to risk a little walk. I want to know what's going on in those woods, so I'm going to do the back of the van up. And make sure I've got my keys. I don't really want to be locking myself out. I really don't know whether this is a good idea, but perhaps I'll go over there with the light off. I've had a second thought. I don't know whether I really want to know what's going on in there. I think I'll go back to the van. It's bloody weird here, I tell you. Oh, bloody freezing.
He eventually remembered the concerns he had about going into the forest and decided to turn around. Back at the van, he set up a sleeping area and stayed awake for a while, drinking hot tea to warm up in the cold weather. While he was still awake inside the van, he noticed something unexpected.
Just got out of the van to have a piss. What the is that? There's a light in the bloody woods now. I'll tell you what, this.
He immediately left the area because he had no idea why the light was moving toward him. Given the late hour and the remote location, he didn't want to take any chances. On its own, the light might not have seemed unusual, but combined with the singing he had heard coming from the woods earlier, the situation felt wrong. With temperatures around 5 degrees Celsius deep in the forest, the whole experience left him uneasy enough to leave. It's November 22nd, 2024, in a remote woodland area near Hightown Barracks. The footage comes from Wrexham Brothers Wild, a UK-based channel that combines wild camping, bushcraft, and overnight ghost hunting trips. As soon as they arrived, both of them noticed a strong and persistent feeling that they were being watched, even before anything unusual had happened.
Like a mumbling voice.
Yeah, woman. I heard that.
Do you hear the woman's voice?
It's over there.
Shh. You hear that knocking?
Yeah. Can you hear that as well?
That's a bird.
No, it's not. Oh, yeah.
Why is it getting closer? Thought I'd just seen someone then, my imagination. It's definitely a woman murmuring.
Yeah,
like,
I heard it.
While sitting alone by the campfire during the day, the host heard what sounded like a woman quietly humming and speaking from somewhere in the surrounding woods. The sound was clear, but no one could be seen. Rich was far away at the time, so it wasn't coming from him. After the voice faded, loud knocking sounds began coming from the brush. The noises grew closer to the campsite, seeming to move through the woods toward them.
Mate, I can hear two guys having a conversation and no one's there. No one's there, mate. There, where your tent is now, I heard it coming from there. Right next to your tent.
Haunted tent, though. So the weird feeling, they keep looking.
It does. I just said to Rich, he said he keeps looking around. I said, look at the last video. I was doing exactly the same thing. Just like you're being watched. It does feel like you're being watched here. It really does.
In the middle of the night, they asked whatever might be there to reveal itself. Almost immediately, a series of loud knocks echoed through the woods. The sound came from a nearby tree and occurred right after the question was asked, making the timing impossible to ignore.
The ball's gone off on its own. Whoa! Face again, same again. Face, base, glove, wall load will non-fault. It's trying to say something, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you make that ball go off again? The cat ball by the tent. You just made it move, made it flash. What was that?
Like a scream.
That's a scream.
Yeah, definitely a scream. Oh!
Oh dear.
No, red.
Is that you making that noise? I just seen something move over there, Rich.
Is that you over there?
What is that? Anyone there? Can you make a large bang on one of the trees?
A scream echoed through the woods, followed by an immediate reaction from the EMF meter as it began flashing into the red. Soon after, a noise came from the brush directly in front of the campsite. The camera feed then started glitching and distorting, while a strong, sweet scent suddenly drifted through the area. Rich later returned to his own tent, leaving the host alone at the campsite. As temperatures dropped to 6 degrees, the activity gradually quieted down. Despite everything that had happened, he remained there for the rest of the night instead of leaving. The footage was posted on April 17th, 2022 by a Scottish outdoor YouTube channel called Bushman in Blue, run by a man named Al. The channel is all about his hiking and camping trips across Scotland's rugged mountains, usually with his dog Blue by his side. In this video, Al headed into Hidden Valley for an overnight camp in the snowy highlands. Everything started like a normal adventure. The valley was peaceful, the route was familiar, and he made his way through the mountains with Blue nearby. But while scanning a distant hillside, he suddenly spotted something unusual on the slope.
Well, I don't know if you can see, but someone has just fallen from the top of that gully and has stopped about 3/4 of the way down it. And they were moving fast. I'm just listening out to see if there's any noise or any distress signal there. Don't look like they're moving, to be honest.
High up in a steep gully, a climber lost his footing and started sliding down the snowy slope. He tumbled a long way before finally coming to a stop. From where Al was, he couldn't tell how badly the climber was injured. Without wasting any time, he changed direction and headed toward the scene instead of continuing to his campsite.
Just found these two skiers here. So I'm just going to head up and just see if this guy's alright. But it's going to be a tricky one underfoot. Currently on snow. God, I hope he's alright. I cannot leave him without checking though. No chance whatsoever.
As he got closer, Al spotted 2 other climbers farther down the slope, and one of them was already heading toward the fallen man. They signaled that he was alive and seemed okay, but Al still decided to continue. In conditions like these, even a small injury can quickly become a serious problem. He kept going until he reached the climber himself to make sure he could get down safely.
2 people now, one guy's walked his way down to the other one. He's moved and he shouted and said everything's okay, but well, I'm nearly to the guy. He's up. Looks like he might be limping slightly, but at least he hasn't broken anything. Here he is. What a hellish fall, mate. Are you okay?
The climber survived the fall, but he had lost his ice axe somewhere on the slope during the slide. Without it, he had no way to stop himself if he slipped again while moving through the gully. Considering how far he had fallen and the terrain he was on, things could have ended much worse. According to Al, the climber's main injuries were an ankle injury and shock from the fall. Al stayed with him and helped him make his way back down into the valley. Had Al not seen the accident and responded when he did, the situation could have become much more dangerous before help arrived. It also makes you wonder how many serious accidents happen in remote places where there's nobody around to witness them. This footage comes from Scottish Summiteer, a UK-based channel focused on solo wild camping and hiking in remote parts of Scotland. The video was filmed on May 10, 2025 at Sawney Beans Cave in Scotland. The channel follows outdoor adventures in rugged locations, often involving long hikes and overnight stays in isolated areas.
It's a little bit of a down climb from the road to reach this cave, but it doesn't look like it's too far. Oof, this is seriously steep. Right, I made it onto the beach. So here we are on the beach, and the cave is just round the corner. It's all getting a little bit too real now. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous and a little bit on edge.
The trip begins with a steep descent from the road down to the shoreline. Crossing boulders and an isolated beach, he makes his way toward the area with Ailsa Craig visible in the distance. Even before finding the cave entrance, he admits he is already feeling nervous. As he continues, he realizes that once the tide comes in, his route back out will be cut off, and he still hasn't reached the cave.
And I can't lie, I'm slightly terrified. Oh, right, just take a minute. Okay, let's go in and investigate. Oh, that is a tight fit. It is extremely dark in there. Whew.
As he moved deeper into the cave, he entered a narrow side tunnel with a very low ceiling, forcing him to crawl on his hands and knees. While shining his flashlight ahead, he spotted something resting on the rocks, a detached doll's head left behind by someone else, sitting alone in the darkness.
So yeah, some heavy stuff, but here it goes. Forgive me guys, I've just started having a nose. I think it might be the nerves, so you're gonna have to deal with me with a tissue sticking out of my nose. Right, can't see anything, but that is very loud. The waves are crashing against the shore. The time is currently 10 past 11, so still an hour and a half until high tide. But it sounds like it's right there, which means I wouldn't be able to leave right now even if I wanted to. So I am stuck here for the night, which is a little bit of a scary thought. Glad I came at low tide.
After a night filled with the constant sound of birds echoing through the cave, daylight finally arrived. Before leaving, he shone his flashlight one last time into the blocked tunnels and then headed out. The trip had included a nosebleed, the discovery of a doll's head deep inside the cave, a rising tide that cut off the exit, and stories about the cave's cannibalism legend that he had been reading aloud while alone underground. This footage comes from Leon, a UK outdoor channel that combines camping and overnight investigations at reportedly haunted locations. The video was filmed on October 31st, 2025 at Samlesbury Hall. The channel follows Leon as he camps outdoors and documents his experiences at historic sites and other locations associated with paranormal stories.
Well, the grounds itself, I believe, of up to 13 ghosts, maybe more. So we have she may be behind here watching us by now. Yeah. She will be entering the property at some point. So I hope I get to meet her.
Yeah. and just above us here, this is where a priest lost his head. They literally put his head off in the room. So he's wandering about the grounds as well.
Yeah.
And we've also got soldiers.
We've got soldiers, we've got, I believe, 3 witches and
the witches.
Yeah. And I believe there's an actual carriage you might hear. So
is it?
Yes. Right. So there's that as well. So they say. We're here to find out.
Leon and his team arrived at the site for a Halloween overnight investigation after receiving permission to camp on the grounds. As heavy rain and strong winds from Storm Ashley swept through the area, they set up their tents on the old tennis courts. After preparing food, they began the investigation by activating Ghost Tube and placing motion-activated spirit balls around the site. Soon after, the app started producing unusual words, including enemy, similar to terms reportedly recorded by previous investigators at the same location.
Oh, there's people. Oh, there's people still here. Oh, there's people still here.
There's definitely someone moving. Yeah, that.
There's no one there.
So we're gonna have a look. Well, there must be.
That sounded like someone who was dragging along.
Yeah, it's not like dragging a bin.
Yeah, but what was
As the investigation continued, the atmosphere became more unsettling. The Ghost Tube app began producing a series of disturbing words, including abused, she will touch you, and we command her. Around the same time, the lead investigator reported hearing a cold whisper near his left ear, despite no one being close to him.
Let's go closer.
What?
It said abused.
Abused? Who was abused?
I've just literally heard a whisper. She will touch you.
No. Please, touch Anthony. Please. Did you hear a whisper? What?
She will touch you.
No.
I swear down, this is what he's saying.
We are not here to people.
This hasn't gone off. We command it.
No, we do not.
Death. That's what.
We command our. No.
Dad, shush.
I've literally just heard you.
A spirit ball that had been placed in a sheltered and calm corner of the courtyard suddenly activated. Its internal lights began flashing, even though the area was reportedly still, with no noticeable wind reaching that part of the grounds.
No, it wasn't. God, we had that so good as well.
We've not had it on.
There's
oh
no
my
way.
God.
No one's going to believe us.
I know.
No one's
I'm gonna put this on. Sorry guys, I thought I had the YouTube version on, and I had YouTube GoPro. We haven't had it on. We've had this on twice. No, the priest, the Catholic priest. I know you're with us. You have done this twice already. How did they catch you? Did they you? Did they find you? I thought I pressed that on.
Why are you here?
I want to know about you. I want to know everything about you. I am intrigued on what's gone on in the past.
Standing alone beside a stone monument, the investigator triggered a second major spirit ball activation. As he asked the spirit of a priest, said to have been on the property, to use its energy, the device flashed immediately. Moments later, the team discovered that an action camera had glitched to a black screen and failed to clearly record the second activation. Afterward, a strong smell of rotting wood suddenly appeared near the main building. The spirit app then produced the words bedroom and bloody. Shining a powerful flashlight toward the upper floor, the team revealed a cross built into the frame of an attic window, in the room where the priest was reportedly hunted down and dead. This footage comes from Cabin Life, a channel run by Glenn and Maureen, a Canadian couple documenting life on their 40-acre forest property in Ontario. Their videos focus on off-grid living, wildlife, and wilderness experiences. During this outing, they set out hoping to record wolves howling, but ended up witnessing something very different in the forest.
Hi, I'm Glenn.
I'm Maureen. We heard the wolves howling again last night.
So today we're placing our recorder near the location that we heard the wolves howling from, right near our off-grid cabin on our 40 acres here in the wilderness of Ontario, Canada.
Glenn recalled a night spent in a canoe under a completely dark sky, listening for wolves. While waiting in silence, a loud, startling shriek suddenly came from the branches directly above him. It turned out to be the call of a barred owl. The bird posed no danger, but hearing that sound at midnight in total darkness was enough to leave a lasting impression.
Something was watching. I looked up. To my astonishment, there was a big wolf quietly standing about 15 steps from me. This was a big wolf. It was not a coyote. I think it may have been an eastern gray wolf. And when I first saw this majestic wolf standing there watching me as I dabbled playing with the rocks in the stream, I was surprised, not just by its presence, but by the fact that it was just standing there. My immediate thought was, am I in danger? But it didn't look menacing.
The standoff continued in complete silence. Glenn slowly stood up, maintained eye contact, and avoided making any sudden movements. The wolf then crossed the creek in a single leap and calmly walked up the hillside. It didn't look back or rush away, simply leaving at its own pace before disappearing from view.
My curiosity got the better of me, and I thought, should I? I may never get this opportunity again. Should I give a short howl? Just to see? Dare I? So I gave a nice howl and waited. And then I heard this in return.
Glenn later reflected on how people are advised to react during a wolf encounter. Instead of turning and fleeing, the goal is to remain calm, hold your position, appear larger, and discourage the animal from approaching. While that sounds simple on paper, it's much harder when you've just been standing a few yards away from a wolf, face to face, in complete silence.
Heading on back to the cabin.
That sounds like a plan. Sounds like a good idea.
Okay, well, all packed up. That was a nice coffee, and back we go through the bush towards the trail, and keep your eye open for eye shine.
As night fell, they packed up their equipment and headed back under the stars, watching the darkness around them as they walked. Once back at the cabin, Glenn reflected on the encounter and noted that wolves generally avoid humans. What had started as a frightening experience eventually became an appreciation for seeing a wild animal up close. He also emphasized an important point: avoid imitating wolf howls during denning season, when wolves may be far more protective and responsive to perceived intruders. This footage comes from Kev's Outdoor Adventures, a UK-based channel that combines wild camping with paranormal and cryptid investigations. The videos feature Kev and Viking exploring remote locations, along with their dog, who often serves as an early warning for anything unusual. The footage was recorded and shared as part of one of their outdoor investigations.
Charles Fulford sitting there chilling for a bit, and well, Viking didn't hear it, but I heard a twig snap over in that direction. Obviously, he never heard it. But he's very alert, like, isn't he?
I don't even care, me, mate.
I don't care, but it's just weird that I heard a twig snap miles away from where we are.
Bigfoot's around, you can have a burger if you want, so.
Let's see what Viking's doing, eh? Cooking them horrible
Love burgers, isn't it?
caramelized onion horrible burgers.
Sounds amazing.
Right, I say I haven't had mine yet. I'll have mine in a bit, like. But yeah.
Like a Tadorfa bit.
Yeah?
Like a Tadorfa bit.
Yeah, to off a bit. I'll have it a bit, aye. Charles is sleeping in the tent over there.
They turn on the Spirit Talker app, and shortly after introducing himself, Kev receives a response with a specific surname, Johnson. Not long after, the app outputs the word tears. Around the same time, they capture a faint sound that resembles distant weeping coming from somewhere in the woods, though they can't identify where it's coming from.
The moths are getting into your face again. You hear that? Hey guys, that was definitely over.
A whistle suddenly cuts through the forest. It is clear and distinct. Local birds do not usually make that kind of sound at that hour in the darkness. Something is producing a bird-like whistle from a tree line about 30 feet from their tents, but there is no visible eye shine.
You hear it?
Sounds like a shout, doesn't it? Like a...
Aye.
As they were heading into their tents, a faint human shout echoed from somewhere deep in the woods. It was brief and distant, disappearing before they could tell where it came from. By morning, the atmosphere had changed completely. They packed up camp and walked to Winter's gibbet, where William Winter's body was displayed after his in 1792. Looking back on the night, they remained skeptical about Bigfoot, but admitted that something around their tents had left them with questions they couldn't answer. Chingo had reacted to it from the very beginning. This footage comes from Walter Zollner Nature Adventure Discovery, a channel focused on the quiet and sometimes unsettling side of solo wilderness travel. Walter's videos mostly feature nature and landscape photography, capturing scenic views, winter landscapes, and outdoor adventures. This particular footage was recorded on February 6, 2024, at Mount Mincy Overlook in Pennsylvania.
What happened there, because I wanted to get a little bit of distance from there. So when I got to the overlook there, I kept thinking that I heard like an animal, like moving around in the brush, a little bit up the hill, a little bit behind me, not too far. I thought it was a small animal because in the wintertime, a small animal like a squirrel or a rabbit can sound large when it's going through the leaves. But I didn't think too much of it because the view was really beautiful. And I went into that lower.
The silence is suddenly interrupted by rustling in the brush on the hillside behind him. At first, Walter assumes it's a squirrel moving through the frozen leaves. But when he starts walking, the rustling moves too. And when he stops, it stops as well. In the stillness of the winter woods, the sound seems to match his movements. Keeping the camera recording, he turns his attention toward the tree line and starts looking for the source of the noise.
Really like low bass, kind of like rhythmic, kind of creepy music. And I'm looking, and there's this guy, and he's like standing in a tree, all dressed in black, like this. Okay, this was creepy. Okay, I'm telling you this. I'm not making this up. Now I'm in the middle of filming my video. I got really unnerved by this, but I kept taking my couple of pictures. I didn't stay there as long as I...
He zooms in, expecting to see a bear. Instead, he spots a man dressed entirely in black, sitting motionless in a tree near the trail's main viewpoint. The man appears to be smoking something with a noticeable cherry scent, while low, bass-heavy music can be heard somewhere in the woods. He stares directly at Walter without moving. Walter later described the encounter as giving off a very negative feeling, and he decided to end his filming early and leave the area.
There, with some binoculars, that guy dressed all in black, now he's like sleeping on the ground. I mean, it's only 30 degrees out. It was like 22 this morning. I don't know, something's not right.
After reaching another lookout and taking some time to process the encounter, Walter realized he would have to pass the same overlook again to get back to his car. When he returned, the man was no longer in the tree. Instead, he was lying out in the open on the frozen ground, despite the cold weather. Walter walked past without stopping or interacting and continued straight to his car. The man remained there while the music continued playing in the background. No explanation was ever given for the man's behavior. It was simply a strange and unsettling encounter that didn't need anything paranormal to make it disturbing. It's May 31st, 2025, at the Landslide Lake Trail in Bighorn Country, near Calgary, Alberta. This footage comes from Taste of Outdoors, a wilderness channel that combines high-altitude hiking with what they describe as bushcraft gourmet cooking, preparing fresh meals over open fires in remote locations. The area they are exploring is known for its large predator population, which is where this encounter takes place.
Get this. White-tailed deer. Those are the velvets. Dog, biru nahi aayi. Bear. Holy, we just got here and there's a grizzly right in front of me. Bear, hey bear, hey bear, hey bear.
At 2 a.m., they stepped out of their vehicle to look at some white-tailed deer and suddenly found themselves face-to-face with a grizzly bear. There was no warning and no sign it was there until they saw it. They quickly got back into the vehicle, spent the night there, and went ahead with the hike the next day anyway.
Nice. Yeah, it's just too risky. Whoa. You see? That's scary. I want to be on solid ground. All right, so we are almost at the summit. The summit is right up there. But the problem is we don't have proper snow gear and we were not expecting this much snow. So a little change of plans. We're not going to go over the summit. We're gonna hike back down a mile where there's lots of firewood. Up here in the Alpine.
As they made their way down a dense forest trail, they came across large grizzly bear tracks pressed into the soft ground. The prints looked fresh and followed the same trail they were using. It was a clear sign that a very large bear had passed through the area not long before, and it could still be nearby.
God damn, we just spotted another black bear, and it was huge. It ran off as soon as we shouted, but there's a lot of bears here. You gotta be careful, very careful. It was somewhere down there. All right, this camp spot is as good as any. You've got pretty flat ground, amazing views, and an already built fire pit. So that makes our life a lot easier. The only concern is we spotted a bear about 100 meters up there. I mean, yeah, you don't want to sleep with the bears. Not the first choice for me, but I don't know if you're gonna find a better camping site than this. I think this is it. First things first, we gotta see where the flattest ground is. It's not bad. It's got a little slope to it, but it should be okay.
As they were setting up camp, a large black bear appeared on the hillside above them and watched from a distance. They shouted, and it moved away, but not far enough to ease their concerns. They still chose to camp there rather than return to the vehicle. Later, while making their way down the steep trail, they kept calling out regularly into the forest. By the end of the trip, they had turned back before reaching the summit, encountered bears 3 different times, and left with their footage. On May 9th, 2026, a fisherman shared footage from a trip to the South Fork of the American River with his friend Jim. The day started out normally as they explored the riverbanks for old Gold Rush era artifacts and spent time fly fishing. Everything seemed peaceful until they came across an unexpected discovery that quickly changed the mood and turned the outing into a much more unsettling experience.
This new spot in the middle of nowhere, and Jim thinks this is a bone. I have no degree in bones, but what is this? Dang, if that doesn't look like a bone, huh?
It does, Joe.
If I touch it, will I get cursed?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Only one way to find out.
All right, just to give you a sense of the scale, huh?
Put it next to your leg.
Would it be?
Other way. There you go.
It would be a.
The kneecap. Dude, that looks like.
Dang.
I think so. It'd be right here under my kneecap is where it would start. Yeah. Dude, that's a bone. I'm not even kidding, dude.
Yeah, maybe it'll bring us luck.
While searching near an abandoned campsite, they came across what appeared to be human remains. At first, they weren't completely sure what they had found, but the discovery immediately left them shaken and concerned. After returning home, they contacted emergency services to report the situation and let authorities investigate further.
Sheriff's Office, non-emergency. Sheriff's Office.
Hi, I was fishing in the South Fork of the American River on Saturday and pretty far out into the river, and I came across what I think is a human tibia, but I'm not sure. I just wanted to report that.
Okay, so you were fishing in the South Fork of the American River?
That's right.
And you think you came across a human tibia?
That's what it looks like. I asked my friend who was an EMT and he's a nurse, and I asked a couple people and they said that that's what it looks like. And I was making a fishing video, so I have it all on camera. I have pictures that I could share if there's a number I could message. And yeah.
Let me get your information. And do you live in El Dorado County?
No, I live in Calaveras County, about an hour and a half away. But if need be, I don't mind driving back up to show anybody where it's at if that's necessary.
Gotcha. Let me make some phone calls. And do you have the actual bone with you?
No, I wasn't sure if it was human or a deer. We just left it out there.
All right. Stay by your phone and we will get back in touch with you shortly.
Okay, thanks.
So you called because you were fishing down by the river, and this was on Saturday, and you found what you believe to be a tibia.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm hoping it's a deer, but it sure looked like human to me.
Took that upstream about another mile through thick brush.
Yep.
And it was like right along the river in the brush. Where was it?
It was probably 10 feet above the river, and the bone's pretty old.
obviously you said this, but there's no like shoe attached to this.
No.
Can you send me whatever picture you have of it? Because there's a lab up in Chico that can take a picture with a measuring tape next to it and definitively tell you what kind of bone it is. Is it possible for you to show me where you found it?
In person, I don't mind driving up there. It's a long hike, but...
I'll start with this. Send me whatever picture you have. Let me look at it.
Okay.
We have coroner detectives that look and a pathologist, and I'll send that picture to them and see what they think.
Okay.
And then I'll call you if I want you to make the drive, but I'm sure I won't be able to find it without you with me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine with me. Is this your cell phone? Should I send it to this number?
Yeah, just send it to this.
Okay, no problem. I'll take a better screenshot and I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Bye.
Confirm that is a bone.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
When can you come show me where it is? It would take me probably a while to find it, and
Yeah.
much faster if you're just like, here it is, boom. So I just want to know your availability, because now I'm going to call our detective sergeant, because there's human remains and it's now a bigger deal. I thought for sure it would be. I've done a ton of these calls. People hiking out in the middle of nowhere, and there's bones, and they're like, oh, there's human, and then this is the first time they're like, yep, it's human.
Okay, I mean today or tomorrow would probably be better for me.
All right, I'll call you back. I'm going to call the detective sergeant right now.
Okay, thanks. I'm available today if you need it. Hello?
Hey, man, it's Deputy Duran again.
Hi.
Okay, my sergeant wants me to hike out there with you if you're available, so I can look at it.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I can make my way over. Now it's 1:30. I'll probably be there around 3 o'clock, 3:15.
Yeah, I'll head up there and I'll meet you at the trailhead. Hey, you had mentioned something further upriver, like what looked like an abandoned homeless encampment type of thing.
Yeah, that's like really close to where the bone was, so
Okay.
we'll be able to see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, all right, see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Looks like it's just starting to rain. Yeah, hour and a half, not too bad.
Let me get my stuff.
Okay.
All right, after you.
All right.
You know the way better than me.
Yeah.
No, we sent the pictures to the Cal State University Chico bone lab, and she's like, yeah, that's a human leg bone.
Jeez, yeah, tibia looked like. Pretty sure we went through here first. Now, hopefully the river's not that high. I think it's just up here a little bit. Oh no. Yeah, a little bit. I think it may have been right here. This looks like where it was. I remember my friend found it like right here. And then I think I moved. Oh, here it is. Yeah. And it was right down there, right behind you.
Okay. Where's that camp at before I pick that up?
Over here, 1/8 of a mile. There it is. Packed in against this wall here. Some more random clothing. All right. Car just stays on?
All day.
A deputy later accompanied the creator back to the site to search the area, but no additional evidence was found. The remains were collected for further investigation, though their identity and the circumstances surrounding them remained unknown. The discovery raised many unanswered questions, especially given how isolated the location was, leaving people wondering what had taken place there. On October 21st, 2022, a magnet fishing team set out along a canal in Molenbeek, Brussels, for what seemed like another routine search. Known for recovering metal objects from old waterways, they began the day as usual. However, given the area's reputation, there was a feeling that this outing might lead to something more unusual than their typical finds.
Entre Anderlecht et Molenbeek dans l'un des quartiers les plus chauds de Bruxelles. Sous ce pont ont déjà été trouvées une dizaine d'armes à feu ainsi que de la cocaïne.
Ah, pour la fondue.
Fondue.
Ah, fondue française, voilà, un pic à fondue. Oh, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Oh, une pince. Sympa. Regardez, le classique, munition calibre 12. Wow, munition entière. Yeah. Alors, on va voir ce qu'il a attrapé. Oh! Ah, un bike! Un vélo! Électrique! Électrique one! Vélo de livraison de bière. Ouais. Ok, je vais l'essayer. Non, non, c'est bon. Oh! Ouais, c'est bon, il marche. Yes?
I think.
Peut-être de la drogue? Ah, ça serait incroyable. Deze content zit put in the... Ouais.
Yeah, drugs.
AirPods. Is that real? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
Elle est originale et un ressort qui peut être un ressort d'arme. Ah. Là ils ont sorti le grappin pour enfin sortir ce skate et cette trottinette qui font de la résistance. C'est une trottinette électrique du coup, vraiment de la ville. Bravo. Super. Allez, un ordinateur. Nice find.
There's nothing.
Breitling, Rolex. Oh, regardez cette médaille. RSCA. Faut pas filmer, je suis trop fou.
The first few finds were much heavier than expected, including a full bicycle and parts of an electric one. While those discoveries seemed fairly normal, the way they kept appearing from the same area made it feel like the canal was hiding more than just discarded junk. As the search continued, the team pulled up objects covered in unusual residue, a locked metal safe, and several. With each new item, the atmosphere became more unsettling. The repeated discoveries from such a small stretch of water left even the experienced magnet fishers feeling increasingly cautious.
A watch, I think.
Lijkt nog niet zo lang hoor.
Misschien kopen dat is goud. Maar het is magnetisch. Look met je magnet.
Check the magnet.
Goed
C'est pas mal.
Non, ça non.
Yeah,
Là, il y a
not stamp,
vraiment
not gold stamp.
une couleur chelou, lui.
Oh, celle-là.
Yeah. Look with diamonds.
Wow. Oh. Oh. BBM. Nice.
Echt waar, kan je hebben? Kijk joh. Oh my god. Don't take my Philip Patek. And look.
You can defend your Philip Patek.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Philip Patek.
Great. It's an old one, man.
Old, but look.
Yes. Great condition on the man.
Crazy.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. Oh, Fontel, Nokia, and a watch.
Non, cela c'est sécurité. Ah, c'est sécurité. Ah, c'est pas possible. Non,
Ah, j'ai peur. Security?
Get a problem with it.
You think we had to leave?
Yeah, I think.
À ce moment-là, le monsieur de la sécurité qui gère le petit port de péniche qui est à côté était vraiment pas content.
The team continued pulling up unusual items, including a watch, a ring decorated with blue stones, an old license plate, and even a well-preserved antique firearm. Just as the discoveries became increasingly strange, a security guard arrived and ended the session. Looking back at everything recovered that day, many viewers noticed a pattern. The mix of bicycles, safes, weapons, and other suspicious objects found in such a small area seemed difficult to ignore. The discoveries sparked plenty of speculation about what else might still be hidden beneath the canal's muddy bottom, waiting to be uncovered. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.